So, Will, what video games have you been playing?
Not much recently. I have been going back to my Vita and playing Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. That's an excellent game, I might add. Just throwing that out there.
I need to borrow your Vita.
You do.
Because I've been playing a lot of Destiny.
You sure have.
And why the hell haven't you played any Destiny? I think I've logged like 20 hours.
Here's my thing with Destiny. I think it's just because I played the beta and was not thrilled by it.
Okay.
Like, at all. Like, it was literally just, you know, you're on the moon, you go to the planet, you do some corridor thing, go back to the moon, rinse, repeat over and over again.
I think you mean the tower.
The tower. Right, the tower. I mean, I'm not, like, opposed to playing Destiny. I'm probably going to go around to playing it eventually. It's just, from what I've played of it, and the fact that it's comparable to games like Borderlands and games like Rage, two games that I didn't really like at all.
You didn't like Borderlands?
I did not like Borderlands. We've had this conversation.
I want to have it again. Why didn't you like Borderlands?
I didn't like Borderlands for a whole list of reasons. I didn't like how, it was a multiplayer game that, had a single player portion and pretended it was a legit single player portion when really it was a multiplayer portion that, like, punished you for playing single player. I didn't like...
How did it punish you for playing single player?
A game should know what you're playing as. If you're playing alone, it should know that you're playing alone, and the enemies should adjust accordingly. Not every enemy should be, designed to be beaten by 4 people. That's not fair. That's not challenging game design.
The
That's
only
just
difference
unfair.
between single player and multiplayer is there's more enemies.
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't play multiplayer. I don't know, mostly because my friends are assholes. But, it just felt like there was an unnecessary amount of enemies launched at one person.
Well, you're going to love Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the same thing.
I know.
But, I mean, there's more... Well, actually, they pair you with people.
Yeah.
So if you're not with anybody and the missions are hard, then they pair you with more people. I love it, but, I mean, you do need to play with people. It's best when it's played with other people, but, I mean, the story is nothing to write home about. You're not gonna like that.
That's what I heard. The story is terrible.
But I mean, the best part about it, even though we hate RPGs, the best part about it is the RPG element, getting loot, upgrading your armor and whatnot. But it's a palatable RPG because it's packaged inside of this great first-person shooter.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking for more first-person shooters to do more than just like the Call of Duty corridor shooter aspect. But I mean, from what I've played of Destiny, it doesn't seem like there's much to it other than going down and shooting a whole bunch of stuff. It's basically the same thing, except instead of it being in a corridor, it's in a big open field, which doesn't necessarily add variety. It just changes the scenery of it.
Well, a big thing that lets Destiny stand out against other first-person shooters, and a little bit of Halo, is that you're not just shooting things. You have to run up to people and like hit them, and there's a lot of platforming and stuff. So there's running, jumping, double jumping, triple jumping. You can unlock a triple jump. I'm a hunter, so you get a knife. You can use a throwing knife. So you have to use your melee attacks. You have to use all of your grenades. You have to use everything at your disposal to take down the enemies. I found myself a lot of the time, most of the time, jumping into like hordes of bad guys and then fighting my way out. It's a lot more... I find myself playing in a lot more close quarters than I would something like Call of Duty or any other first-person shooter.
I think also, too, because the last first-person shooter I played was Wolfenstein New Order.
Which I haven't played yet.
That is a game... First off, the story is excellent. It's better than it has any right to be in a Wolfenstein game.
I was going to put money down that game was going to be terrible.
No, it is legit. I would use the term great, actually. It's that good. Because the story is excellent. The gameplay, for the most part, yeah, it's linear, but they mix things up all the time. They have the corridor elements, but then they have, like, you're in big open spaces where you have to like sneak around and like actually use like real stealth, not this typical first person stealth.
Right.
All the weapons are varied. You can dual wield all of them practically. You have to constantly change it up. You get like this one plasma cutter gun, which is I guess their equivalent to the gravity guns, like that one that they want you to really use. But it really works and it's really effective, especially after you upgrade it. You get like, I don't want to call it a hub world, but you get like a base to go to in between the levels, and even that has like side missions and things to do and secrets and whatnot. That to me was a very fleshed out, very thoughtfully designed first person shooter. Whereas Destiny, it just seems like, again, I've only played the beta, but reading what I've read online, it looks like the game is a lot of that. Do A, then do B, do A, and then do B over and over again.
I think the first-person shooter element comes second to the rest of the game. The fact that it's an RPG, you need to level up the classes, and you need to level up your classes and your subclasses and all of your different abilities. Those are the important parts of the game. The story is non-existent. Forget the story even exists.
That's fine. That can be negligible.
You pretty much need to play with other people, because you play with other people, you create your own little story. But that's what makes it different from every other first-person shooter. The fact that it has all of these RPG elements, and the fact that you play online, but it's so... Other games didn't have it as easy to play online with other people. They kind of force you to play online with other people.
See, I'm also too, like, I'm mostly, I don't know if I just evolved that way or what, but I'm mostly just a single player game, type of guy. I like just sitting down and playing a game by myself. I'll play multiplayer every now and then, but, not like something that has a campaign. I'm more like a deathmatch or a more combat type of multiplayer type game. If I'm going to play co-op with somebody, it needs to be somebody who preferably is in the room with me, so that we can talk about it in person, and B, it has to be someone I can trust. I can't just hand the controller to somebody and be like, all right, we're going to get through this game. So what if they suck? What if they're better than me? There's all these factors that go into it.
Well, two things. If they're better than you, you still get the XP and the loot.
Right.
So that's pretty good. Except I had a bounty where I had to kill this one specific bad guy.
Yeah.
Still have this bounty, because every time I try to kill that one specific bad guy, somebody else gets the last shot off.
Oh, that's the worst.
So that sucks. But I really missed playing multiplayer games with my friends, because all my friends suck, and it's really hard to get them to play games with me. So this is the best way for me to play multiplayer with my friends, especially co-op. I love co-op multiplayer, and it's so hard to get people to play co-op with you.
See, again, like, co-op is something, like, I need to be able to trust the people I'm playing. And, especially now, because, like, I'm 27 years old, I have a full-time job and a life, and all my friends are in the same boat, so it's really hard to get everybody together to play games. Plus, I'm the only one with a next-gen system out of my friends. That's not true. I'm one of two people who has a next-gen system, and the other person has an Xbox One. So, there goes that.
We're gonna have to get another PS4. That's what that means.
Yeah. Look, I'm definitely willing to give it a shot, because I haven't played the final game yet, but just my experience of it and what I've taken from games of a similar ilk, and just what I've been reading online just seems to, confirm that, like, this is not the game for me. You seem to be, head over heels for it. That's fine. I'm head over heels over the new Weezer album, which I'm probably, like, the only person who is.
You are.
Yeah. That.
For Destiny, were you expecting something different when you played it?
Yes.
What were you expecting? Because that's the thing. A lot of people were disappointed in what they got.
I knew it was going to be a massively multiplayer game. And that's the thing. I've never played an MMO before, so I didn't really know what to...
You've never played any MMO?
No.
Even I've played an MMO.
I've never appealed to me. I knew I was getting something different. I knew it was going to be this vast open world type of thing. And, like, other people can come and populate. I guess what I was thinking more of Grand Theft Auto Online. Okay. But, like, as a first-person shooter.
So like one big server.
One big server. Everybody just comes in and, like, you can do, like, there would be more missions to do with more of a variety, not just go into a cave, enter an arena where you do horde mode or a boss rush or whatever, and then, you leave and go back to talk to Nathan Fillion about upgrading your gear.
I do wish there were more vehicle stuff. Because in the beta, when they opened up the moon, you had all these vehicles all of a sudden. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But the moon was the only map that had vehicles and stuff. There was like a couple of vehicles like sprawled out here and there, but the moon was the only one where you could really like grab a pike and like go around.
Yeah.
So that was like pretty upsetting that there's not. Eventually there will be a lot more vehicle stuff, but that would have varied the gameplay a lot. So you will play Destiny.
I will play Destiny. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow.
Will you play Crucible
someday?
Which is the online versus player versus player.
Yeah, but
I really like that.
Yeah, because
it's like Halo mixed with Call of Duty.
That's fine. I mean, that's more of what I'm used to with a multiplayer game anyway. But I feel like they intended for you to play the main campaign, so that's what I want to play. But if that's not gonna grab me, then I'm probably not gonna play multiplayer a whole lot.
It's awesome because the campaign, everything that you gain in the campaign carries over to the multiplayer.
See, that's cool. That's kind of like what they did with Halo Reach. But
they did that with Halo Reach?
Well, like you create a character, an extra character for both.
Yeah.
Dude, that's really cool.
Well, in this, all of the weapons you get,
right?
And all the armor you gain in the player versus environment comes over to player versus player. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Have you played Destiny? Have you not played Destiny? Why?
If you have, are you one of the ones that enjoy it very much, or are you one of the growing majority of people who don't like it very much? Leave it in the comments below.
At us on Twitter.
Follow us on Facebook.
And most importantly, share it with your friends.
And like. And subscribe.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Have a good week.
Yeah. So as promised, no DC talk today. In fact, no DC talk for a while now. I've spoken about them enough these past 4 weeks. So let's talk about Marvel. In fact, let's talk about a Marvel event that's going on right now. The death of Wolverine.
This is what Google Translate has to say. This is English.
Mario.
And this is Italian.
Mario.